Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield, and you're listening to my weekly radio show called Encouragement for Your Life. Many of you know I'm a national speaker, trainer, and coach, and I help people find their voice and learn to use it. I'm also a conference speaker, so if your organization is having an upcoming conference and you need a keynote speaker, I hope you'll find me at debsofield.com. I've got a number of books on the market. They're available on Amazon. My first book, Speak Without Fear, my latest book, Perfecting Your Platform, and then, of course, my series, Encouragement for Your Life, are all available. Just go to Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield, and all my books will appear. My book, Speak Without Fear, is also available on Audible if you'd prefer to hear me speak it. I've got a great theme today, and it's this. Friend, when you don't know what to do, just take the next logical step. I know it's hard sometimes, so let me tell you how to do it. I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for spending this next half hour with me. Let's get started with today's show. I know that I spend a lot of time encouraging you to chart a new course and get out of your comfort zone and learn to live the life you imagined, and for many, the life you were born to live. Go and do big and small things that move you down the path of life that would bring great joy in big and small ways. I know I say weekly, friend, that life is short, and I fully believe that you have to take the reins and get going, or you're going to miss out on some great opportunities, or frankly, someone else will take your space. Maybe while you're sitting around waiting. You may even lose interest, and then you're back to square one with no action having been taken. See, refusing to move or never moving equals dying. And that, my friend, is not a great choice. And listen, here's why it's important for you to chart your course. I think you need to write it down, tape it to the wall, spend at least an hour a week thinking about where you will go next. Now, it's important you keep your plans handy and your dreams alive. And listen, don't worry if you need to change course or make a change in your direction or simply redirect. At least you're moving in the direction of your dreams. And moving, hey, it's better than standing still. Listen, if you're going to succeed in this world, you need to make something happen instead of wondering, hey, what just happened? I'll always believe that the best way for you to find success is to start. I know it seems so simple, yet all of us struggle with this. You know, they say that the word start is probably the hardest word you will ever come across when you're planning, because you get so caught up in the planning for months on end. But planning, while it has its place, is really just the first step in 1,000 to get you to where you need to go or where you'd like to go. Okay, so after the planning is done and you feel comfortable enough to take the next steps, what happens when you don't know what to do? You know, believe it or not, I hear that a lot. People say, hey, Deb, I started down a path that seemed right, but now I'm stuck, not sure what to do next. Or the other conversation that frankly makes me crazy is, well, I'm waiting to know what to do. Now listen, that's fine until your waiting becomes 1 month and then another and then a year. And then you have to admit, friend, you're not going anywhere. You're stuck. Then there's the others who honestly will admit, hey, Deb, I'm afraid to move because I don't like change, no matter what the cost. They would prefer to stay where they are since they know the surroundings and frankly, they feel secure there. Listen, I get it. Feeling secure is important, but hear me, dear listener, please don't limit your future because of your fear. Let me say that again. Don't limit your future because of your fear. The fear of the unknown, fear of failure, the fear of being alone and doing it by yourself. So let's think about getting past your fear and moving in the right direction. And here's what I want you to remember. Friend, when you don't know what to do, just take the next logical step. Believe it or not, it is that easy. Just take the next logical step. Now, I didn't say do something rash or without thinking or something that would cause harm. Friend, use your God-given talent and brain and trust your instincts, and then take the next logical step. See, I want you to know that you can trust that there's always a next step. Now, you might have to muster the courage to take it, but trust me, there's one there. You just need to step out on faith and, using your ability and logic and smarts, friend, take the next step. Recently, I reread a book a friend had given me years ago called The Red Sea Rules. And in the book, there's a chapter that really deals with stepping out on faith. And there's a line in the book that I really love. It says this: plotting is better than plotting. All right, so plotting, P-L-O-D-D-I-N-G, is better than plotting, P-L-O-T-T-I-N-G. Meaning that moving slowly and steady in the right direction, wow, it is so much more valuable than trying to take a shortcut or circumvent the process. If you're like me, you just want to get things done and move on to the next big adventure. And while sometimes that works, more often than not, if I had just slowed down and really thought through my plan, I probably would have saved myself some heartache, or at least a boatload of money. Over the years, I have developed what I think is a pretty good internal compass. I know when I'm straying off course and can usually redirect to get myself back on track. I can just tell when I'm, as they say, out of sorts, meaning that sometimes I say to myself, okay, Deb, what's bothering you? And believe it or not, within a few minutes, my subconscious will gently bring an issue to light so I can deal with it. Now listen, I haven't always been like this, but as I've gotten older, I believe I've become more aware about how I feel about situations. It's almost an internal clock or some sort of an internal compass that I know when I'm off track. And I don't like being off track, so I hurry to get back onto the right path. When I find myself stopped or struggling with issues that really should be easy, I've had to learn to make a list of what's bothering me. And then I work the list backwards to answer, correct, or redirect what needs to be done. I'm not sure how you do it, but I do encourage you to slow down enough to listen to your subconscious. Friend, you have it for a reason, so you might want to listen to it once in a while. From experience, I can say that I doubt it will ever lead you in the wrong direction. All right, so follow my instruction or not, but here's an opportunity. When you don't know what to do this simple exercise. So think about what little steps can you take right now, literally right now, to address the issue. Think about what small steps you need to take to find the answer. For some, it's as simple as a phone call that you need to make. Yes, the one you don't want to make, but the one you need to make. So just go ahead and make it, and then put the issue to rest. For some, maybe you need to grab a calendar for a year and make some appointments. It might be that you simply need to make a decision and stick with it so you can put the matter to rest. And you know what I'm talking about. It's that annual doctor appointment, the dentist appointment, getting your car fixed, fixing things that are broken within your home. Friend, get it done. Take the next step. See, whatever it is, once you take the next logical step, you'll be surprised what doors will open. And frankly, what doors will close for you. But at least you'll know the answer. In his book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, Dale Carnegie tells a story about a young medical student who was very nervous about his career and future. And over time, he worked himself, believe it or not, into a nervous breakdown. And as he was recovering, he came across the words of the author Thomas Carlyle. And frankly, it changed his thinking and his life forever. In fact, the statement that he took to heart allowed him to prosper and grow. He later became one of the most famous physicians of his generation. He organized the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine at Oxford and was knighted by the King of England. His name? Sir William Osler. And these are the words that he read that changed his life. Our main business is not to see what lies dimly at a distance, but to do what lies clearly at hand. Let's think about that. Our main business is not to see what lies dimly at a distance, but to do what clearly lies at hand. See, what I find is that many people waste days, months, and even years straining to see what dimly lies ahead. So much so that so many of these folks lose joy in what should be happening in the moment. I believe we would all do better to do what clearly lies at hand. And the way you do that is by taking the next logical step and seeing where the path may lead. So I wonder, what are you doing to make movement forward in your life? What issues, big or small, do you need to tackle this year before the end of the year to make this the best year of your life? Friend, if you're unsure and wondering what to do next, have faith and go ahead and trust that the step will be there when you do your part and make the first move. And remember, when you don't know what to do, just take the next logical step and stand back and see what doors and windows of opportunity will show themselves clearly to you. Because remember, my friends, your main business is not to see what lies dimly at a distance, but to do what clearly lies at hand. I'm Deb Sofield. You're listening to Encouragement for Your Life. Stay tuned. I'm going to come right back after the break, and we're going to talk about how you take next steps for success. Hi folks, Deb Sofield here. Today's top executives have a lot more in common than mastering the boardroom and the bottom line. Successful people in business and politics have learned the art of mastering the media. Friends, you don't have a choice. In our high-tech, high-speed media age of Twitter, blogs, Facebook, and 24-hour news cycle, either you move quickly and decisively to define your product, your company, or yourself, or others will define you. To be successful, you can't afford to miss the mark because the public won't give you a second chance, the media is unforgiving, and YouTube will replay your remarks until you've been ground into dust. I can help you learn how to craft a message that will answer the questions and put the issues to rest. Answers that will resonate with reporters and the public, answers that will protect you. I'm Deb Sofield. I've been in the battlefield of business and politics for over 30 years. I know and understand how the game works, whether it's crafting your message, putting you on camera, or a hot seat for interviews. Let me help you be successful. Contact me through my website, debsofield.com. Welcome back, everybody. I came across a really interesting article in something called IdeaPod, and it's by Louise Jackson, and she says this: what do you do when you don't know what to do? It sounds like a paradox, and you could be wondering what to do when you don't know what to do with your life, what to do for your career, what to do in a relationship, or even what to do with yourself. How can you make a decision when the only thing you know right now is that you don't really know? Well, here's the good news. There are plenty of things you can do to help yourself. And so the author goes on to give you some steps to try when you don't know what to do. Now, I've edited this for time and also because some of the steps, even I wouldn't do. All right, number 1, focus on the positives, not the negatives. There's being pragmatic and there's just limiting yourself. I'm not suggesting you make ill-informed or reckless decisions. I'm saying it's better to make choices motivated by the positives rather than be held back by the negatives. Some listening today need to get into the mindset of thinking more of what you stand to gain rather than what you stand to lose. The next point's this: know that doing nothing becomes the choice you're taking. You may have heard the expression, when you don't know what to do, do nothing. Okay, that's not good advice. Okay, maybe it's some good advice in some world out there, but it has its limits. See, when you wait too long, doing nothing becomes a decision in itself. At some point, it's better to let go and take action. Think about this. For most of us, any action is better than no action at all. Let's say you're stuck in a dead-end job. That makes you miserable. The problem is you don't have a clue what you want to do instead, so you do nothing. But by doing nothing, you're not getting any closer to finding out what it is you truly want. That's when doing something, even if you're still not sure, is better than doing nothing. That might mean applying for a new job, having your interview skills kicked up a bit, taking new courses, learning new skills. See, when you take action, in a sense, it gives you feedback, which will help you figure out what you really feel and think about the matter. Remember that even discovering what you don't want still helps you get closer to what you do want. Now, the next point is pretty simple. Make a pro and con list. The pro and con list has been a long-standing tool to help people make a better decision. It's a simple tool that can help you to get some emotional distance and see things in a logical way. See, the catch is not every decision can be made by analytical thinking. The truth is sometimes we need to feel our way through. But laying everything out in black and white, well, it can help you feel more in control, and it creates order in your mind. Gotta tell you, I love the next one. Go with your gut. Intuition is often overlooked, but it's a great tool when it comes to decision making, and it shouldn't be discounted. That gut feeling isn't a vague, guess where it comes from. Actually, it comes from years of collected experiences and unconscious information stored in your brain. Believe it or not, there's scientific evidence that people can use their intuition to make better choices. In fact, one study found that when it came to simple decisions, better choices are made from a conscious thinking about the problem than more complex. People actually did better by not simply focusing on it, but allowing their gut to actually help bring their truth to the surface. For some, you need to do some self-reflection. Writing down your thoughts and feelings is a great tool to help you dig deeper when you feel stuck and you don't know what to do. It's kind of like having a conversation with yourself, but rather than words continuing to go round and round in your head, you put them down on paper. Probably one of the more important points is this. Dear listener, sometimes you've got to give yourself some time, particularly when you're feeling a heightened sense of emotions. Sleeping on it can be great advice when you don't know what to do. Important decisions shouldn't be made when you're feeling off balance or off kilter. Sometimes we feel stuck. Everything swirls around us in our head. So deciding to wait for a certain amount of time can mean you get more information and you make better choices and things become more clear. Things happen or change, so a better solution presents itself. When we allow ourselves not to think about it, which takes the pressure off, and we suddenly feel a lot clearer about what to do. The key to giving yourself time is not to make that an indefinite amount of time and avoid making decisions at all. No, friends, sometimes just give yourself a little space and see what happens. The next point's this: know that it's okay not to know. Social media would have you think that other people have their entire life figured out, and you are the one left scratching your head. Even though we know it's not true, it really is easy to fall for the lie that everyone else is further along in life than we are, living their best life ever, having all the answers. But here's a fact: it's okay not to know what to do. Yeah, because most of us will feel that way at some point or another. Piling on extra worry and guilt, frustration, or panic about not knowing what to do, well, that's just going to make you feel more stuck. So think about it. It's okay if you don't know right now, but let's move in the right direction. And the next point's this: take the first step to find out. See, overwhelm usually kicks in when we demand of ourselves that we have everything perfectly mapped out. The reality is that you don't need to do it all right now or know it all now. You just need to take one small step, and then another, and then another. See, deciding whether you should immigrate doesn't mean you should pack your bag straight away and jump on a plane. You should research the country, talk to people who've done it, or go on vacation. Whatever the decision, look for small steps that you can take that'll help you get some of the answers that you're looking for. I like the next one, and that's get curious. Curiosity is a wonderful way to play with life without feeling crippled by burden. Rather than demanding answers from yourself, be inquisitive instead. Being curious in life means following your desires and passions to see where they lead, asking yourself thought-provoking questions, or giving something a go without expectation. Research has shown that being curious boosts achievement. It helps us stay vigilant, gain knowledge in changing environments. Studies have also found that curiosity is associated with higher levels of positive emotions, lower levels of anxiety, more satisfaction with life, and really a greater well-being. Getting curious about a problem or situation can help you find the solutions that you might have never considered. And to that point, make friends with fear. 9 times out of 10, it's fear that keeps us stuck. And fear takes many forms: overwhelm, procrastination, uncertainty, nervousness, helplessness, anger, dread, panic. Basically, anytime we feel threatened by something in life, fear appears. It's a natural biological response to want to avoid threats. We're designed to keep ourselves as safe as possible and run from anything that may cause us harm. The problem is that fear can also be crippling, keep us stuck, cut us off from taking important action. Fear will always be with you throughout your life. There's no getting away from it. But friend, hear me, it does not need to be in the driver's seat. It can be a passenger, or even in the back seat, or perhaps the trunk. Trying to make friends with fear is about recognizing when it shows up and seeing beyond it rather than getting lost in it. Ask yourself if your decisions are being swayed or motivated by fear. Perhaps you've heard the expression, feel the fear and do it anyway. The only way to conquer fear, my friend, is to accept that it isn't going anywhere and to act in spite of it. The next point is understand that all of life is really a giant question mark. There is never any real way to know what will happen in life, which can be scary and liberating. Listen, even the best laid plans, you can make them and everything still ends up in the air. Now, it sounds terrifying, and it kind of is, but it's a little bit thrilling in a weird sort of way. See, the unpredictability of life, well, that's what makes it magical. The chance encounters, the opportunities you never expect to come your way, these are what make life a roller coaster. And friends, you can either shut your eyes and pray for it to stop, or you can raise your arms and get the greatest joy out of all the twists and turns along the way. Either way, just know this, that ride's not stopping, and nor should it. You're just going to need to figure out what to do when you don't know what to do. The next point I think is probably the most valuable, and that's focus on your values. You may not know what to do, but I'm pretty willing to bet you do know what's important to you. When you're feeling lost and uncertain, it can help you return to the core of who you are, really what makes you tick. You know what you like and what you don't like. You know what drives you. Your values are your compass in life, and they are here to help steer you towards what's best for you. So when you decide what's most important to you, you can then decide what to do. I liked that one. I felt it was a good reminder. I also like this one. Realize there's no wrong choices, only potential different paths. When making what seems like a big decision, it can feel incredibly important that we make the right decision. But all experiences are valid, even the ones we didn't feel so good about at the time. And it's true that every step you've taken until now has made you who you are. Each has had its own value in its own way. From the worst things that have happened in your life, sometimes the best opportunities will follow. Understand that ultimately, whatever decision you make is just one potential route in life. And friend, whatever route you take, even if you need to correct your course later, think about the opportunities that will come your way. But my biggest point to you in this whole message is, friend, when you are unsure, please take the next logical step. And I think that's so important because the truth is, when you don't know what to do, just take the next step. And remember, your business is not to see what lies dimly in the distance, but to do what lies clearly at hand. As I close out today's show, let me leave you with a couple quotes about taking the next step that I think are good to remember. Dag Hammarskjöld said, "Never look down to test the ground before taking your next step. Only he or she who keeps their eye fixed on the far horizon will find the right road." Theodore Roosevelt once said, "I dream of men who take the next step instead of worrying about the next 1,000 steps." And then I love this one by Joseph Simmons. Our friend, don't be so concerned about the size of your next step. The direction is what matters. John Carmack said, "Focused, Hard work is the real success. Keep your eyes on the goal and just keep taking the next steps towards completing it. And friend, if you're not sure which way to do something, do it both ways and see which works better. Gotta say, I love these quotes. It just reminds me that everyone says the same thing, friend. Take the next step. Don't be fearful. Think it through. Do your homework. But for Pete's sake, stop standing still when the world is waiting for you to get going. I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for joining me today. It means so much that you tune in every Saturday to hear my show, Encouragement for Your Life. Folks, I hope you have a great week. I look forward for you to join me next week, same time, same place, for Encouragement for Your Life. Have a good one, everybody. Take care.